We're starting the session. So this month is getting over. So today's session will be for explaining the sequences which are going to be practiced in the next month. That is the month of March. So I'll start. So those who are observing, you can observe. Those who are practicing along with me can do that as well. This is more for learning, so that observation is very important. So we start with standing position. So this month, all the loosening practices are in standing position. We start with the prayer. So I come to Samasthiti first. Keep my legs together, toes and heels touching, hands tight on the side of your thighs. Inhaling, I take both the arms sideways up. Exhaling, bring it to the heart center. Closing the eyes, take an inhale again. Sanghachadvam samvadadvam samvo manamsi janata deva bhagam yadha purve sanjanana upasate sanjanana upasate Sanjanana upasate. Om. Inhaling, take both the hands straight up through the center. When I exhale, I bring the hands down, sideways. Now I do loosening practices. You can observe and also practice with me, those who wish. I start with slow jogging, whatever possible. Normal jogging. Then I'll do back jogging. So I'll try to touch my heels on the back. So I'm folding the leg back and trying to touch the heel on my buttocks. Then again, I do slow jogging, little time. And relax. Then I keep the leg in shoulder distance. Bring both the arms in front, parallel to ground. Fist close. Rotate the wrist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hands on shoulder. Rotate the shoulder blades. 1, 2, 3. Just a second. I'm keeping the other view. 1 second. 3, 4, 5. Opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more round. 5. I put the hands down. Arm rotations. Both the arms together rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now bring the arms in front, parallel to the ground. Inhale, open the arms, heels up. Exhale, close, heels down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. You have to open your chest. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Again, arms in front, twisting the body sideways. Left side, twist it back. Right side, left side, backwards. Right side, left side, right side, left side. Twist your body. Right side, one more time. Left side, right side. Center, put your hands on the waist. Then put the chin down, close your eyes, rotate your neck. 1, all the side. 2, 3, observing inhalation and exhalation. 4, 5, change. 1, 2, neck rotation. 3, 4, one more round. 5. Then gently push the hips forward. Rotate the hip joints. 1, the entire hip assembly. 2, 3, 4, 5. Then change. 1, other side. 2, 3. Here, I have to inhale when I go back. 4, inhale when I go back. Exhale when I bring the hip front. 5. Stop at the center. Then move your hands backwards so that I touch the thumbs at the back. So the elbow will be behind the body. Now inhale, bend backwards. Exhale, bend forward. Inhale, back. Push your hips and bend. Exhale, front. Inhale, back. Exhale, front. Inhale, back. Exhale, front. One more time. Inhale, back. Push and bend back. And exhale, down. Now inhale, stand up. When exhaling, you have to keep the feet together and hands on the knees. Now rotate the knee joint. 1, 2, all the side. 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then push the knee backwards repeatedly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then put the hands down. Do spring movement to the ground repeatedly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So after 10 times, interlock your finger and try to press the palm on the floor or on the mat and put the head down. Stay there for some time. 1, do it normally here. 2, so it's a forward bend. 3, maintain that position. 4, and 5. After that, inhale, stand up, arms up, heels up. The fingers are interlocked, all in the same inhale. Then exhale, heels down, lift the toe. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, toes up. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, toes up. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, toes up. One more. Inhale, heels up. Stay for some time. 1, 2, balance on the toe. 3, 4, 5. Exhale, heels down. Inhale, interlock full palm on the top. So initially the palm was facing the sky. Now I change the direction and interlock the full palm. That's an inhalation. Then exhale, bend to the left side. Side bending. Inhale up. Exhale to the right. Inhale, side bending. Exhale, left. Inhale up. Exhale, right. Side bending. Inhale up. One more. Exhale, left. Inhale up. Exhale, right. And inhale up. Exhaling, bring the arms down to L shape on the elbow level. So the hand will look like L shape like this. Then we do spot walking. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. One more round. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2. All these are loosening practices. After that, bring the arms in front, parallel to the ground. Keep the legs in shoulder distance. Take an inhale. Exhale, squat. Gently sit, whatever possible. Inhale, stand. Exhale, sit. Inhale, stand. Exhale, sit. Inhale, stand. Exhale, sit. Inhale, stand. Last. Exhale, sit. Stay there for some time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Normal breathing. 5. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, catch your waist. Inhaling, take the left leg front. 30-degree. Ankle rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fold the leg. Catch the toe behind the body. You have to fold and catch the toe, not the ankle. After staying 5 numbers there, stretch the leg in front of you. 1, 2, 3. Try to keep it high. 4. Point your toe. 5. Exhale, drop the leg. Take the right leg. Rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fold the leg. Catch the toe behind your body. So your heel will touch the buttock. 3, 4, 5. Then stretch the leg in front. 1. Balance there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, put the leg down. Last loosening will be alternate leg touching. So spread the legs approximately 4 feet. Exhale and bend forward. Then touch the opposite toe. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Inhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale. Inhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale. One more. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2. Then inhale, stand up. Walk the legs inside a little bit and then jump to the center to Samasthiti. So that completes all the loosening practices. Any doubts till what we did till now? Anybody? If any doubts are there, whenever there is a natural break, you can speak and ask.
Sir, hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. In case of alternate toe test, sir, we have to breathe once. Like what exactly we have to do it?
Yeah. So this spreading is an inhalation. Bending forward is an exhalation.
Okay.
Now, inhale, inhale.
Okay.
1, 2. Exhale, exhale.
Okay.
1, 2. Like this. I'll make with the sound now.
Okay. Sure. Good.
Yeah. Like that.
Okay.
Then while inhaling, come up and jump. Okay. So that's the good question. So that finishes all loosening. After that, what do? We do Surya Namaskara. So this month it is only Shivananda Surya Namaskara. And in the last round, we will be holding. So the 12th round. So I'm going to show you 2 rounds of Surya Namaskara. Then we can discuss about that. Little there is space limitation for me. So whatever within the space I'll be doing. Okay. So I do mantra, inhale, arm sideways up. Exhale, heart center. I close the eyes, inhale again. Oh. हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्यापि हितं मुखं तत्त्वं पूषन्न पावृणो सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये Inhaling, take the arm center up, straight up. Exhale, bring your hands down through the sides. Okay. So in Shivananda Surya Namaskara, it comes to hands down position. Okay. Then only the practice starts. Samastiti, I start from Ekam. So hereafter the breath is numbered. First, I will do two rounds with instructions. Ekam, inhale, take the arm sideways up. Exhale, heart center. That is Ekam. Dvi, inhaling, stretch your arm backward. Trini, exhale, bend forward.
Chatwari, inhale, left leg back.
China. Pancha, holding the breath, other leg back. Shat, exhale, go down. Chin chest. Sapta, inhale, upper body lift. Ashta, exhale, lift the back. Nava, inhale, left leg front. China. Dasha, exhale, the right. Ekadasha, inhale, stand up. Bend back. Exhale. Om Mitraya Namaha. Then inhale, take the hand straight up. Exhale, hands down. To Samastiti. Similarly, the other round will be side. So, other side, I will do only with the breath control. Okay. So, follow my breath. Listening to the sound, you can practice if you practice. Samastiti. Going to Namaskara Mudra. Dvi. Trini.
Chatwari, right.
Pancha. Shat. Sapta. Ashta.
Nava, right.
Dasha.
Ekadasha.
Dvadasha. Om Ravaye Namaha. Samastiti. So this is Shivananda Surya Namaskara. 11 rounds of normal, and the last round we will be holding the breath. Holding the position and taking 2 breaths each in all the postures. 2 or 3 breaths. Different breaths are there, so that will be done.
Sir,
Yeah.
what are the different asanas we do corresponding to that Chaturanga? One more you say, right?
Ashtanga Namaskara.
Ashtanga and Chaturanga.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So in Ashtanga, the 8 parts are on the mat, right? In Chaturanga, everything is in the air. That's the difference. Yeah. So I think you are all doing. Sudhanshu is doing Chaturanga only, right? Or Ashtanga.
Few rounds I do Ashtanga, then I do Chaturanga, sir.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, good. So if you like to do Ashtanga or Chaturanga, whichever you can choose. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Any other queries? These are the In advanced class, it is Ashtanga A and B. So A will be 5 rounds, B will be 3 rounds in advanced class.
Sir, when we do the third step, you generally ask me to keep my hands parallel. I want to know where is that I'm going wrong there, sir.
That hands back position, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when you take the arms backward, I hope I'll bend a little down so that I can show you better. So what I find is, ideally the arms should be parallel to each other like this. So sometimes what happens to your case is you are slightly spreading it away like this. So try to keep the arms parallel to each other. Don't spread it wider than the shoulder distance.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, I have a few questions. Should I ask now or later?
Yeah, you can ask.
So there are differences in how, so I usually start from here.
Okay,
This is,
yeah. Yeah.
Is that wrong? I mean, we don't start like this, but we start from.
It's not wrong. See, there are different schools of like Bihar School of Yoga. You have Iyengar. You have Ashtanga, Mysore style. Lot of different styles are there. It's okay even if you start from here. Nothing wrong in that.
Okay.
So directly you can go back, go to the next step and go down. Nothing wrong in that. Only thing is in the counts have to match. Like there are 12 steps in Surya Namaskara. So when you do, this is Ekam, then this is Dvi, then this is Trini. So if you start from here, you have to adjust the counting accordingly. If you don't return to the Sthiti position. So in Surya Namaskara, some of the Soham, last month what we did, it started from here only. You remember that, right? We did not go to the hands down position, right? Yeah, so this is the only style where we return to the Samasthiti. Ekam is inhalation and exhalation. Then Dvi it goes. So it's nothing wrong that you start from here. When you do from here, do you do the mantra also? Or you don't do the mantra?
Don't do the mantra. And second, also when we do, it's a 10 count, not a 12 count.
So in Syasa, in Swami Vivekananda school, there are 2 Shashankasana comes. No, in Soham school, only 1 Shashanka comes. So it's nothing wrong. So only thing is we practice Shivananda in their original style. So some classes they change it. Nothing wrong in doing all that. We follow this sequence. That's all.
Also in the cobra posture,
Yeah.
This one, Bhujangasana.
Yeah.
The elbows, how I have done it is elbows are bent and tucked close to the body, and only till the navel you lift your body up. But you lift it all the way to the toes.
Yeah. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. So this Bhujangasana is for beginning people. So both are okay. So in case you don't want to lift your body, see if you want to, because when you do Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, the strength of the upper body develops. For example, when it's Bhujangasana, it's only this much, as you said, no?
Yeah.
Now here in this asana, it's just a back bend. So it doesn't improve the strength of the upper body. It focuses on bending our backbone, the arching of the back, that's all. But when you do Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, you do both. You lift the entire body in the air using the strength of the arm and arch the body. So originally, whatever Surya Namaskara has got all these steps. So for beginners, what you said, you can do that. Since you have been practicing for quite some time, you can do Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Both practices are fine.
And you said instead of Ashtanga Namaskar, you can also do Chaturanga.
Yes.
What does that mean? I didn't understand that.
Yeah, so that Shat, the 6th vinyasa in Surya Namaskara is from a plank, you're going down. So when you go down from here, knee, chin and chest goes down, right? This is Ashtanga Namaskara.
Yeah,
This is one. So this is for beginners again. Now, if you're good with your strength and you've been practicing quite some time, you go to Chaturanga, where everything is a straight line. This way. So everything is parallel to the ground. Nothing touches the floor. So it's like you saw that. So that is called Chaturanga Dandasana. Chaturanga. Chatur means 4, right? So you got 2 palms and 2 feet. Except that nothing touches the floor. While coming up also, nothing touches. So you start with Ashtanga Namaskara, you upgrade yourself or raise the bar, graduate to Chaturanga. From plank, go to Chaturanga. Then without touching the floor, inhale, come up. Urdhva Mukha. So this is again the next step. No, beginners do Ashtanga and seniors do Chaturanga Dandasana.
Sir,
Yeah.
how to do Chaturanga Asana? Can you show me once again?
Who is that?
Shiva,
Ishani.
Shiva,
Ishani,
Shiva,
right? Yeah.
Shiva,
Tell me.
Shiva, yeah, Shiva. Normally during Surya Namaskara, what we are doing means we are doing Chaturanga or this Ashtanga.
Both can be done. If you find, if you find you are good with Ashtanga Namaskara, do that. If you want to improve the strength, the effect of Surya Namaskara, because it needs a lot of strength to do the Chaturanga Dandasana.
Chaturanga, huh?
Yeah. So gradually, maybe after 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, whenever you want to do it, there is no rule that you have to do Chaturanga.
Shiva, can you please show me once this Ashtanga then?
Yeah. Ashtanga is already you're doing. So from here, this is the plank. From here, knee, chin, and chest. These are the 8 parts. So 2 toe, 2 knee, 2 palm, 6 over. 7th is the chest and 8th is the chin. These are the 8 parts.
Okay.
So this is Ashtanga Namaskara. Ashtanga, 8 limbs, 8 parts on the floor.
Okay.
But when you do Chaturanga, means nothing touches the floor. It goes directly to the floor and everything remains in the air. Like this. Everything is in the air. Then sweeping the toes, I inhale, come up without touching anything on the floor. So that is Chaturanga and Urdhva Mukha. If you're not good with this, you can do Ashtanga Namaskara and Bhujangasana. Like Sonal said, both are fine.
So what are the names of the 2 cobras and what are the names of the 2 Urdhva Mukha? What did you say?
Yeah. What I did without touching the floor is called Urdhva Mukha Shvanasana, upward facing dog posture. And the other one is Bhujangasana. So with that everything on the floor and just pushing the upper body. And the other 2 which Sanchali spoke is that Ashtanga Namaskara, 8 parts of the body on the ground. And Chaturanga Dandasana, Chatur, only 4 parts of the body on the ground. 2 palm, 2 toe, that's all. Everything else flat. I mean, in the air, 2 inches above the floor. These are the names.
Isn't Chaturanga part of Par Yoga and not Shivananda?
No. It is all, if you see, Surya Namaskara was created in the year 1938 by the Raja of Aundh Raja. Before that, Surya Namaskara was not there. And if you see the original Surya Namaskara, there are a lot of difficult things like Chaturanga Dandasana, jump back, jump forward, everything is there. Original Surya Namaskara. So, but it for general people to make it easier for everybody to practice, it has been modified in Shivananda style, where everywhere, because everybody cannot do this Chaturanga and all. So it is being lightened for everybody to practice. There's nothing like, see, these are all different terminologies. All the fundamentals are same. Whatever the power yoga, like all these things are all built, like with the frills. It's only the same wine in a different bottle. Everything Hatha yoga only. So what I said is the logic. Let's not compare different things. A beginner will practice what he can. Okay. So if you keep on doing Ashtanga Namaskara 25 years, I'm not saying you'll not become stronger, but gradually you have to upgrade yourself. When you're finding something's very easy, what will you do? I want to get a little more better, right? Everybody, say when I do like I'm doing Setu Bandhasana. If I keep doing Setu Bandhasana, my body will improve. The back bending capability will improve. Now, after a year or 2 of Setu Bandha, I have to improve my back bending capability. I will do Chakrasana, right? So Chakrasana comes. Then when my chakra is good, then what will I do? I will try to do Kapotasana. It's a more intense back bend. Then what will I do? I'll try to do say Vrishchikasana. Or so gradually I improve my skills. Similarly, Surya Namaskara also, I start with normal Ashtanga Namaskara, then I upgrade to Chaturanga. Similarly, I do with Cobra pose, Bhujanga initially. When I find it very easy, I go to the next level, Urdhva Mukha Shvanasana, that's all. So let's take it that way. It's all Hatha Yoga only.
Sir,
Yeah.
when I do move from this Chaturanga to Urdhva Mukha,
Yeah.
so it's very difficult to do it without touching the ground. Chaturanga I can do without touching the ground, but transition from that to Urdhva Mukha is difficult without touching the ground.
It's quite natural, but you keep trying. I have, for example, my daughter used to tell me this. Initially I thought you're not able to do, so I just kept on telling. Finally, after a year of practice, one day she tells me that one round I am able to do without my knee touching the floor. After another 6 months, now I can do 2, 3. Now all the 12 rounds she does like that. So it's just a matter of time. So when you try to do it, automatically it will come. So don't worry about it. Just keep doing your own ways. Maybe out of this 12 rounds, try to do once, because in that position to come up only with the strength of the upper body is tough. So try to keep on trying at least once you try to do it. And don't do it for the sake of that only. Just let it come in the way you do the 12 rounds. Our outside 12 rounds, don't try to do it. You may enjoy yourself. Let it go in the same sequence.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
Sir, continuing on the same question, right?
Yeah.
So would it help if when we are transitioning from Chaturanga to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, if you sleep the toes first and then try to move the body later, would that help? Because I have the same issue where
that is tougher.
Okay.
Coming up without sleeping the toes is easier. I mean, if you want to come up without touching the ground, because your toes are in standing position like this, right? From here to come up without sleeping the toe is easy. You're here, so you get the strength of the toe. But when you sleep it, it's more tough because you have to float. From here, you have to float your body up. So it's more difficult if the toes are sleeping. It's easier when the toes are standing. Yeah, it's a good idea. I think Sudhanshu can note that. Initially, you can try to do with standing toe to come up. That must be easier. So I just clicked me what Swapna said. You can try that way. And then gradually upgrade to sleeping toes and coming up. Okay, that completes Surya Namaskara. Anybody from advanced class who has got any clarifications on A or B, anything you can ask. Otherwise, I'm going to the asana sequences. It's already half an hour done. So I go to asana sequence. What are the asanas this month? Virabhadrasana 2, Prasarit Paduttanasana, and that sequence. So I'll finish the standing asanas, then and we'll take a break. I start from the left side of my mat. So did you observe how I reset my breath? So beginners, all of you should note how I breathe, where I exhale, where I inhale and all. So I'll speak once, and then when I do it, and then do it without speaking, 1 or 2 times. Then you will know how I breathe. And then I'll not do that breathing too much. Okay. So I'm first doing Virabhadrasana 2, which is the first asana of this month. So I start from the left. Ekam inhale, take the right leg out, approximately 4 to 4.5 feet, and catch the waist. I took that inhalation. Now I exhale and turn the right foot and look over my right shoulder to the right. The body doesn't turn. That's an exhalation. Now 3 inhale, I open the arms in the line of my legs. And Chatwari, exhale and bend the right knee. Like that. Looking at the hand as I have to breathe. So I'll not breathe now. So what are the important points here? The length of the step. It should be about 4 feet. This knee will be 90-degree angle. So it should not be like this. But try to bend it properly. The arms will be parallel to the ground, both the sides. Drishti will be on this hand. This leg will not bend. That heel will not lift. So that's called Virabhadrasana 2. After 3 breaths, I inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, turn. Now inhale, turn to the other side. Now I'll breathe with numbers. My exhale is over. One breath. 2. 3. Pancha. Inhalation. Shat. Exhalation. Sapta. Reduce the distance a little. Ashta. Exhalation. So how many steps? 8 steps. Second asana. Prasarita Paduttanasana. No break here. Ekam. Dvi.
Three, inhale, head up.
Chatwari.
3 breaths here. Feet parallel. One more breath I will take. Now inhale, head up.
Only. Exhale, walk a little.
Somewhere near close to the hands. Sapta, inhale, stand up.
Catch your waist. Ashta, exhale, jump to the front. Prasarita Padottanasana.
Sir, in this asana, my knee bends.
After, I told you, after the standing asanas are over, you talk. Don't talk before that. I don't want to hear what you cannot do. What you can do, you tell me. Tanmay. I don't want, मैं ये नहीं कर सकता, वो नहीं कर सकता. I don't want to hear that. Okay, I want you to tell me what you can do. Tanmay, okay? Third asana, Nataraj asana. Again, so I'm facing front. Ekam, inhale, bend the left leg, right hand up. You can catch it from inside. Dvi, exhale. Balance here. One point drishti. 2. 3. Trini. Inhalation. Chatwari, exhale. Hand down, leg down. Same asana will be repeated on the other side. That is Natarajasana. 3 asanas over. Then, so after finishing both the sides Natarajasana, next is Parigasana or handle posture. Samasthiti. Vajrasana. From Vajrasana, it's an 8-step asana, side bending. Ekam, inhale, come up on the knees with the inhalation. I'll show the right side first. On the exhale, take the leg out. Sideways. This knee should be, thigh should be perpendicular. 3, inhale, open the arms. Chatwari, exhale, bend sideways. That's all the asana. Inhale. Straighten your elbows. 3 breaths here. Keep stretching the side of the body. 1 more breath. Stretch maximum. Pancha, inhale, come up. Shat, exhale, catch waist. Sapta, inhale, walk the right leg. Walk the straight leg. Dvi, exhale, open the other leg. Then same step, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, come up. Exhale, catch. Inhale, knee in. Exhale, sit down. That's called Parigasana or handle posture. Then the last asana. So this almost finishes the standing asanas. So before sitting with the straight legs, next asana is Mandukasana, which is very good for pancreas, all those diabetes problems. So I will show you that Mandukasana. Then we'll take a break and talk. So in Mandukasana, we come to Vajrasana. Then with an inhalation, make a fist, keeping the thumb inside the palm, and keep the fist in standing position just next to the navel. From here, so I keep it, then inhale here, then exhale. Then repeat here. When I have this plank calorie stretching, and then pushing. Then Pancha, inhale, sit up. Exhale, release the hands. Dhyana Mudra. Inhale, sit to one side. Wait for the inhalation. Then exhale and release the legs. To Sthiti, and then relax. Hands back, shake the legs. So just quickly, the main points of these asanas, just quickly those very, very important points. The first asana, this step should be good. If you take a short step like this much, when you bend, it will become like this. See this is wrong. All this, Tanmay and all, because your step is not good. You have to take a longer step. So take a longer step so that this leg will become, this knee will become 90 degrees. That's one important point in the first Virabhadrasana. Then Prasarita Padottanasana, I'm going to show you a side view here. So when I bend forward, keep the hand down. So don't keep the head front like this. It should not be leaning forward. So when you keep the head down, it has to come in the line of your legs, like this. So this is Prasarita Padottanasana. Your head should not go front. This is not Prasarita Padottanasana. So that is the important point in that Prasarita Padottanasana. First two asanas. Then in Natarajasana, in one important point in Natarajasana, Natarajasana is not a leaning asana. I'll show you the difference here. When I do that asana, don't do like this. This is not Nataraja. Your front is also up, back is also up, like that. So chest is up, leg is up. So don't do Nataraja like this. Keep the front up, leg up. There is an arch, but don't lean too much. Common mistakes I'm telling in Nataraja. Then in Parigasana, you must not lean front when you do the asana. So when you keep the leg and bend, don't bend like this. You can see my shoulder is coming front. The shoulder should be here only. So I'm trying to stretch the side of the body. So more than leaning, I have to stretch like that. So don't bring the shoulder in front. General mistake I'm telling. If you bring the leg in hand in front, you can see easily I can go. Still I'm looking front, I'm going down. See. There is no stretch only in the body. So that will be defeating the purpose of the asana. So try to keep both the shoulders in the same line and stretch the body like this. You can feel the nice pull this side in Parigasana. So that is the importance of Parigasana. Then in Mandukasana, when you keep the fist like this. Don't sleep the fist. Well, like we do in our Bastrika. No, Bastrika, we keep the back of the wrist on the thigh, correct? But in Mandukasana, it has to be standing position, like the fist facing each other, like this. So keeping it on the navel, and that fist has to dig into the stomach when you exhale and bend down. And exhale. Don't lift your elbow like this. When you lift the elbow, the pressure of the fist is lost. Just just drop the elbow, the fist will go inside. If you lift up the fist, will go down. You see the difference. So try to drop your elbow downwards and keep the fist into the stomach when you do Mandukasana. Okay, so I've covered all the standing asanas. Any queries you can ask now. Otherwise, I'll go to the sitting asanas.
Sir, in first asana, my knee bent.
So that,
touching the floor.
yeah, Tanmay, I told you, I want you to tell me what you achieved. Don't tell me what you're not able to do. Okay?
Sir,
Yeah, yes.
in Mandukasana, your head is touching the floor or it's above the floor.
No, the forehead will touch the floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
When you inhale, don't push too much. The head may lift up a little. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't defeat the. I'm not talking that you are doing that. What generally people do is because just for the purpose of getting that the pressure on the stomach, they breathe very shallow like that. So when you breathe shallow, the effect will not come. When you breathe properly, the full pressure comes. So just inhale completely, Ujjayi, exhale completely. So where there is a no need for deep breathing, I will not count the breath. When I say inhale, exhale, that means you have to. So for example, when I do Shalabhasana, I don't ask you to breathe deeply because it's not possible. Because that holding position is like that. So whenever there is no need for a complete and full slow breathing, I will not tell that in the class. Okay. Here, yes, the forehead will touch the mat, but when you inhale, yes, the forehead may rise a little. In the air, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Good, Anju. Yeah.
Thank
Anything
you.
else?
So you will also talk about the Udyana Bandha and the Agnisara Kriya?
Yeah. Okay. If you, yeah, actually, we have been doing that quite some time. So I'll talk about that also then. Yeah. Any other queries on the sitting asanas? I mean, the standing asanas which I did?
Just one query.
Yeah.
Virabhadrasana, that back leg foot also should be on the ground, right? It should not lift up.
Correct. The back foot is firmly grounded. This foot is grounded firmly. It should not be like this way. I mean, this way. It should be grounded. The heel has to be grounded. Back leg. Clear, right?
So can you just show once again last time Prasarita Pada Uttanasana?
Yeah.
Want to see how you place your hand in between the thighs and how the head goes inside.
Yeah, so Samasthiti, Ekam, inhaling, Dvi, exhaling. So I keep the hand in line of my legs. You see that? So it should not be kept in front like this. In the line of my legs. Then inhale, head up. Slightly concave your back. On the exhalation, head down. That's all. So I try to keep the head in the line of my legs. So you can see the feet, hand, and head. All these will be in the same line. Another thing is don't spread the feet outward like this. Keep the feet parallel. Did you see that? You should not spread the toe outward and wider than the heel. Keep it as in line with your heel itself. Okay, then inhale, head up, concave your back. On the exhalation, walk a little inside. Maybe you can reach till the hand. Then inhale, stand up. Exhale, jump. Like that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. In your advanced class, it will be done with the hands extended forward. So that I'm not showing now. Okay, then somebody was asking Udhyana Agnisara. In Udhyana Agnisara, so here you have to shuffle your shoulders and lengthen your back before doing Udhyana Agnisara. The weight of the body is on the hands. That means if I leave my hand, I will fall. Weight is resting on the knee through the arms and the back is relatively free. And then I take an inhale. Exhale through the mouth. And suck the navel inside. Then I inhale and the stomach comes out. Approximately 12 to 15 seconds.
If you find it's very tough, you can stop at 10, no problem. Gradually increase the time. Don't worry that you're not able to tell, "Arey yaar, mere se nahi ho raha hai." वो सब कोई problem ही नहीं है. If you're doing the best, the benefits are the same. Don't worry about it. Everybody has got limitations, including me. Okay. Then Agnisara, same way. So we do this once with bent knee, second round with straight knee. So same Udhyana. Then Agnisara with bent knee, Agnisara with straight knee. So Agnisara first, I'll just show once. Inhale here. Exhale Mukhadauti. Blow the candle. Start pumping. Then I stop the pump with an inhalation. Then the same practice is done with the straight legs. So this is Udhyana Agnisara. The last round we repeat that Udhyana and stand up. So I finish all the standing poses. Quickly go into the sitting postures now.
Sir,
yeah, tell me.
I want to learn churning.
Janameti.
Churning.
Ah, Nauli Kriya. I've shown it in some classes already. So for learning Nauli Kriya, you have to get Madhyama Nauli first. So I'll quickly show that. Since you are asking, okay, otherwise. So first we have to get Madhyama Nauli first. I'll remove the mic so that otherwise it's obstructing. The same method. So try to get the stomach in center first. If you get that, then the churning is easy. So I'll do the churning now. So that's Nauli Kriya. So what you have to do is try to get stomach in center first. If you do that, it's easy. Otherwise, so keep trying. So what you have to do is you do that Udhyana Bandha, no? 2 times you do. So towards the end of that Udhyana, try to bring the center stomach. Then inhale and release. Okay. So every day if you try like that, slowly after some time you will be getting that vacuum here and here. So towards the end of, say, when I say 3, 4, 5. So 4 to 5, try to bring your center stomach. Madhyama Nauli is called. There are 4 Naulis. Madhyama Nauli, Vama Nauli, Dakshina Nauli, Chalana Nauli. 4 Naulis are there. So what I did was Madhyama and Chalana. So ideally, if I come up, it's not effective. So to show the camera, I came up. If you bend like this and do it, you will not be able to see that. So the churning will be better actually. Okay. Need come. Okay. So just practice. Okay, Sudhanshu. Okay. Now let's go to sitting asanas. This month, what are sitting asanas? Ardha Padma Paschimottanasana. So I'll finish all the 4 sitting asanas, then we'll talk. Then we'll go to lying down asanas. Samastiti. Sitting straight. So sitting straight, it's also is an art. So sitting straight is not this. Some people keeping hand like this. No, not here, not here. Side of the body, back straight. I'm not, see, even if I remove the hand, back is straight. I'm not pushing and lifting the body. No. Back is straight even just by, without the hand also. So that's the art of sitting. Ardha Padma Padma Ushi. I'll show the right side. Manduka we did, right? Now, Ekam, inhale, bend the right leg close to the body like a mountain. Do we exhale, turn that leg to Padmasana. Exhalation. 3 inhale, take the arm sideways up. Long back. Did you observe the lining of the back? So here the toes are pointed. Chatwari exhale. Leading with the navel, I reach forward and try to bring chin on the knee. The same way we did last month. Last month we did Tiryanga Mukha Ekapada, where the leg was folded like this. This is Tiryanga Mukha. Whereas this is Ardha Padma Paschimottanasana. So this reach, don't do this. I told you. So reach this first. So the navel will touch my heel. So see, the toe was like this, I change. Reach as long as you can. See my breath. 1. 2. Let me show you a longer inhalation. About 6 seconds. Then Pancha. Shata. Sapta. I'm waiting to finish the inhalation. Samastiti. Same repeats on the other side. Ardha Padma Paschimottanasana. In advanced class, Baddha Padma will come. So instead of, so that I'll not, anybody in advanced class is there? If you have doubts, you would ask me, I'll show you. Otherwise, I'll not show. You're all senior people. So that is Ardha Padma Paschimottanasana. Then, what is complementary to these two forward bending asanas? You've got Ushtrasana. Ekam. Inhale, fold both the legs to, I'm folding to the right. Did you see the sound of my breath? Then exhale, sit. Vajra. 3 in inhale, come up on the knees. Catch the waist. So the knees are apart, feet is also apart. You can do this or this. So beginners can do this, seniors can do this. Sleeping dog. Chatwari exhale. Ushtra, camel. Full inhalation. 1. Regulated breath. I just took 2 breaths. Now I'm coming back. Pancha. I'm filling up the lungs. Shut. Now, where did I fold my leg? I folded my leg to the right side of me. So I will sit to the right side of the leg again. So I'll sit like this. So what will happen? When I came up, I was like this. Did you see? My leg was folded to the right. When I come back, I will not sit to my left side. I will sit to my right side. Why? Then my side will become equal. And then exhaling, release the legs. So because we have to equalize, no? Where there is a plus, there has to be a minus. So that is Ushtrasana. Then Vakrasana. Samastiti. I'll show the left side. Samastiti. Ekam inhale, I bend the leg. Left leg, left hand back. On the exhalation, twisting the body, I bring the right armpit on the left thigh. Like that. Then 3 breaths here. In advanced class, or those who are in this class who want to go to the next level, like Sonal said, no, she wants to do the next level. So you have to bind at the back. Like that. So on the first exhale, you can do this. If you find that your binding is very easy, then you have to catch the wrist like this. Like that. You got, see that grip. So that is the Marichyasana. In advanced class, we'll be doing that. Then inhale, look forward. Still inhaling. Then exhale, release the leg. Samastiti. So that is Vakrasana. Second level of it, Marichyasana, which we will do in the advanced class. So we finished 3. Last one is Ardhanavasana. From Samastiti, inhale, take both the legs to 30 degrees. Leaning a little back. Exhale, interlock the fingers.
3 breaths here. There will be little rounding. 1. 2. 3. Inhale, hand down. Exhale. So what is the difference between last month? Last month the leg was this much. It was above the head level and the hands were like this. Remember, but that works on the more on the upper stomach. When you do Ardha, it goes to the lower stomach like this. Okay. Ardhanavasana. So this is for the lower abdomen core. Upper abdomen last month. This month lower abdomen. So that's Ardhanavasana. Now in advanced class, there are 2 next level asanas there. One is Ardha Baddha Padma. So the same way when we do Padma like this, in advanced class, there is the lock like this. You have to swing the back arm and catch the toe with the behind. And then inhale, take the toe and exhale. So in advanced class, instead of normal Ardha Padma, we do Ardha Baddha. Baddha means locked. So I lock the feet. That is one. And there is also Ekapada Shirshasana. So that's a difficult one. Anybody from advanced class there today?
Yes, sir. Nilima here.
Yeah, good. So Ekapada Shirshasana is there. So inhaling, bend the leg, bring the leg behind the shoulder. Inhalation. On the exhalation, try to bring it behind the neck. Like that. And do Namaste. 3 breaths there. I'm showing 1 breath. Then inhaling, release the leg up. Exhaling, bring it down. That is Ekapada Shirshasana. So that comes in advanced class, not in the regular class. And Marichi C I showed you. Then another change in advanced classes, Virasana Supta Virasana sequence. Can you bring that bricks and the bricks in? So in advanced class, the transitions are different. So I'm going to quickly show you that. There is a little limitation of space. It's okay. Well, I'll try to do it. So inhale, cross the legs in front of your body. On the exhalation, jump in. So inhalation is over. And the exhale, jump to Vajrasana like that. So it's a little difficult. If you have bricks, it's easy. Okay, then I come a little forward because there is no space behind. Can you bring the bricks? It's here only. Okay. Close. Then with inhalation, I take my leg out. Exhale, take the other leg out and sit. Inhale and sit between the feet. Virasana. On the exhalation, I lie down. Inhale, arms over the head. Supta Virasana. Exhale, hands by the ears. Inhale, lift the chest and keep the crown. Exhale, interlock your elbows. That's called Paryankasana or sofa posture. So this comes in advanced class. Finish the last exhale. Inhaling, press the palm. Exhaling, release. Inhale, stretch the arms over the head. Exhale, bring the hands down. Inhale, come up using the elbow. Exhale, press the palms by the feet. Inhale, pick up in the air and exhale to jump out. Jump out. That comes in the advanced class, which is in addition to what you have been doing, the regular class. So I have completed all the sitting postures. Any doubts in this sequence?
So 2 questions in sitting postures.
Yeah.
Ardha Padma Paschimottanasana, is it possible to do with bricks?
Yes. Yeah, good question. So so some of you see you should not hurt your knees and all. For some of it may be very easy. So what you have to do is the same method holds here. So did you see the steps that I took? Where I did not do direct Padmasana like this, which I do in the advanced class because their flexibility is good. But in the intermediate class, I do 2 steps. Ekam inhale and Dvi exhale. So when you keep that exhalation, keep one brick below the thigh, this thigh. Now the knee will not get much effect here. Then Trini inhale, Chatwari exhale. Like that. So you'll be a little protected. Both the knees will not affect much. You can do it this way. Good question.
Got it, sir. Second one is Ardha Navasana.
Yeah.
Generally, what I have noticed is in Navasana, my legs tend to shiver a bit sometimes, most of the times actually. Is that due to any issue, or is it due to sudden?
No, it is only the strength, because the stomach is becoming tighter. So you are not able to, it's quite normal. If I also stand too much time, I'll also start shaking. Anybody, because there is when you lift the leg, you're actually tightening the core muscles. No, a little after some time, you'll start actually shaking them because the strength of the stomach is reached. It's quite normal. Don't worry about it. Once you feel you are, getting a little tough, then you just come down. Don't listen to, don't stay the full time then.
Got it, sir. Thanks.
Thanks.
Sir, in Ardha Navasana, if elbows are little closer, okay?
No, keep it a little wide, because when you do this, the core will not work. You have to keep the chest a little wide. I know some people, they will do like this. When you do this, you're actually limiting so when you open it up, you actually tighten the muscles will work here. When you shrink, you're actually tightening the shoulders and reducing the effect on the core. So keep it a little wide this way. So don't shrink it like this. Keep it a little wide. So the core will become a little more stronger.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't shrink it. Keep it a little wide. You don't have to expand it wide enough. Just little around 45 degrees, fine. Like that.
I have a question on the sequence.
Yeah.
You said this is the sequence for March. So
Yeah.
all of March, we will do the same sequence.
Yeah, the complete March, all the 31 days it will be this.
Okay. And what is the point of this sequence? I mean, what is the objective we're trying to? So what changes should I be able to observe in in March? Like, what are we focusing on? Is it core strengthening? Because it's for full body, it looks like.
Yeah. It doesn't focus on any particular part of the body. So there is a certain framework. What is the framework? There is loosening. There is dynamic, which is Surya Namaskara. Then you've got standing postures, sitting postures, supine postures, prone postures, and pranayama. So within this framework, we try to fit the asanas in such a way that you achieve a forward bend, you achieve a backward bend, we achieve a twist, we achieve something on the core, something on an inversion, something on a back bending, something on all these we are trying to cover up. We just, within the framework, we align the asanas, that's all. I hope I'm clear. Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Sir, I don't know the name of the asana, but there was an advanced asana that you had just demonstrated, where the leg was going behind the head.
That is Ekapada Pada Shirshasana. Yeah.
Ekapada Shirshasana.
Yeah.
So the leg is slipping off from the head.
It's like that only. So be careful. See, there are this lateral, collateral ligaments are there. You have to be careful. Okay. So initially, when you do it, this is also fine. Just keep it here. Okay, gradually, because you should not injure anything. So just keep it here and then do namaskara like that. Gradually take it a little more taller and rest it on the shoulder like that. You can do this much also fine. And then gradually you have to raise it up. So don't be in a hurry to do it. Very carefully you have to practice these asanas. So maybe it takes a little time, like say 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. It can take slowly, only it will come. Initially, as you said, rightly said, it may slip out.
Yeah.
That's the reason, because the hamstrings and all those muscles are not stretching properly. That's the reason. Maybe it's not fixing behind. For me also, it's not a very easy asana. So for me also, it's a tough asana only.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sridhar here.
Yeah.
When we try that, mostly we bend forward a lot. It is because of the leg is not flexible to go back, or
yeah, more to do with the leg
flexibility, right?
Yeah, it is not the back, the hamstrings and all the gluteal muscles. They are not allowing. When we do that, this one, no, yeah, when we do that Akarna Dhanurasana, you remember, we do this like this, Akarna Dhanurasana. So all those asanas will help us to get there when we stretch all these muscles. No?
So initially, even if we bend a little forward, no problem, right?
It's okay. So don't hurt your back while doing it. Sometimes you may get a catch here or somewhere. No?
Yeah. Okay.
So be careful while doing this. That's why we don't do this in the beginning. We do that Ekapada, this one, sorry, Ardha Baddha Padma, all the forward bendings are done. Then only this asana we are doing. We should never do it in the beginning. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sridhar. Yeah. So we covered that. Now, then we do the inversion. Sarvanga, Hala, Supta Kona, Baddha Kona, Markata, Chakra. So I'll stop after Markata maybe. Okay, then we can talk about it. Sarvanga, Hala, Supta Kona, little space limitation is there. So I'll try to do whatever I can show you here. So I may change my positions, which are not actually required, just for the space limitation. So inhale, sorry, Samasthiti, inhale arms over the head. Exhale, point your toes forward. Inhale, take the legs up. Exhale, hands down. Right. I'll just keep the mic down so that otherwise it'll obstruct. I'll go a little front so that you can see. Exhaling, the hand has come down. Inhale, roll up on the back and support the back. Then inhale. First exhale is over. Enjoying each breath. After 3 breaths, I go to Hala. There's little space limitation there, so I come a little down. Inhale, interlocking. After a few inhalations, now I'm going to do the next asana, which is Supta Konasana. So I'm going to turn so that probably you can view me as much as possible. The tail of the last exhalation, I have to support my back. Then while inhaling, I open the legs into V shape. So that is Supta Konasana. Seniors must catch the toe like that. So I take the hands and catch the toe. Like that. That is Supta Kona. After 3 breaths, tail of the last inhale, I support the back again. Then exhale, walk the leg back. Inhale, come to Sarvangasana. Exhale, do Baddha Kona. In Sarvangasana. 2 breaths here. Keeping the feet together. Then inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, put the left leg down. So I'm going to turn again. So my arms were like this. I exhale, put the left leg down. Okay. Now inhale, open the arm sideways. Exhale, take the right leg to the left hand. Markatasana, looking the other side.
So you have to take 3 breaths. So one leg to the other side. After 3 breaths, inhale, come up. Exhale, put the leg down. Then inhale, take the other leg up. And exhale, take it to the right side. So both the sides Markatasana will be done. And then exhale, inhale, bring the leg back. Exhale, put the leg down. Take an inhalation here. And exhale, put the hands down. And then relax in Shavasana. So, what are the asanas we did? In advanced class, there are little more asanas are there. Here we did Sarvangasana, we did Halasana, then Supta Konasana. Supta means sleeping, Kona means angle, sleeping angle posture, Supta Konasana. Then we came back to Sarvangasana, then did Baddha Konasana in Sarvangasana, bound angle posture. Then came back to Sarvanga, came down, then Markatasana, and then return to Shavasana. That is about 4 to 5 minutes of inversions. So, any doubts on inversions? Any clarity? I'll explain anything like that.
So 2 quick questions.
Yeah.
First one is Sarvangasana. When I'm rising up, I'm not able to rise up like how you're doing. I actually lift my entire body up. So I just wanted to know, how do I do this? Like how you keep your palm and then lift your body up.
So use that pressure. No, you need a little pressure there. So when your legs are like this, like this elbow and the palm should be pushing, and incline a little this side. So don't try to lift up from here. Incline a little towards Halasana. So automatically that curvature of the back will come. See, so that. See, I'm using this elbow and the palm. So when I roll up, this is an inhalation. Okay. Then straighten it back, like that. Use a little angle to the back, and then use the curvature of the back and use the pressure of the arms on the ground, like that. And then make it straighter when you reach there. And when you come down, slide your hands on the back. See, I'm sliding from here. It was here, then I slide it, bring it on the buttocks, bring it on the thighs, and then bring it back. All that is possible in one exhalation. So while going up and while coming down, both try to take one vertebrae at a time. Gradually take it up.
And also synchronize when you're inhaling, synchronize to lift it up.
Yes, Sridhar got it. So when you inhale and pick it up, so if you hold and go up, it may be tough. Don't hold the breath while going up. Synchronize.
Right,
sir. Yeah.
Right, sir. Second one is in Halasana. Most of the times I find difficulty. One is you generally mention that get your above the forehead. I forgot that term.
Groin above the face.
Yes. And second is breathing in Halasana. These 2 difficulties are there in Halasana.
So generally what happens, because see, everybody has got little fat on the stomach because it accumulates. For me also it's there. So when you go backwards, one is that your chin is locked. The chest is packed with the chest is packing the chin and squeezing thyroids. And in add to that, the stomach will that weight will come on the chest because it's the gravity change, right? Stomach was otherwise falling down, not to the chest. But when you invert your body, the whatever fat is there in our visceral fat, all that will come on the chest, that weight. So it is difficult to expand the ribs because that weight of that fat is actually pressing the chest. So it's quite natural that you may feel a little difficulty in breathing. But when that fat is a little less and when your bend is good, then it's quite easy. It is fairly easier to breathe. I do deep breathing. Even in Karnapidasana, even in Halasana, Supta Konasana, very easy because your legs are split. It doesn't close, right? Karnapidasana, I do proper long breathing. I do because it is the blend of your bend and all these will work and you will be able to breathe properly. It's matter of practice only. I think you'll reach there. Don't worry.
And when you say push your groin above, how do you, what do you mean by?
Yeah, the groin has to come above the face. The last night, did you observe when I went back? So here is my groin. This is my groin. So groin has come above my face here. I saw that. It should not be here. It has to push like this. Now I can, actually my groin is just in front of my eyes, like that. Even when you bend, you can go beyond Karnapidasana. See, my knee has touched over my head. Karnapida comes here, right? I take it further.
So another point is, sir used to say, right, whenever we do this, roll on your shoulders. So that is another point which you need to take care. Sir is already on his shoulders. So that neck and shoulder is the one which the touching point.
So this cervical spine, all that has to become longer. When you keep practicing, right, it will become longer. And roll, like Sridhar said, roll the shoulder down. So the center of the neck will lift up. And it will give freedom for the spine to move back. If you restrict the shoulder like this, no, then the spine will not go back. You have to expand it. Rotate your shoulder downward, then the center neck will lift and allow the body to go back.
Yeah, that is why sir used to say, roll on your shoulders, roll on your shoulders.
Sir, when we are in that posture, at least when I'm in that posture, I can't physically understand whether I'm straight or not, but I'm definitely not straight. That's one point. उस समय roll your shoulder वो क्या सभी कुछ हिला हुआ था. So when you go back, my feet don't touch the ground.
Yeah,
so what are the preparatory postures that you can do? I can do to get to that. I used to be able to do that, but now I'm back, so I can't do it.
Because the only thing you have to do is see when you practice frequently, right? No, because as like Sridhar said, when you rotate your shoulders, it's easier to push. The center neck will not get affected. When you do Sarvanga also, if you see my video on Sarvanga, I have mentioned that. Even doctors say that. When you do Sarvanga, here, so here now the weight is on the, if you do this, weight is on the neck. When I put the shoulder down and I lift the center, now the neck has lifted up. Now the weight is actually on the shoulder and the back of the head. The center spine is not taking the weight. The shoulder is down. Shoulder is taking the weight. It's called the shoulder stand. Similarly, when you go back, here, don't widen the shoulder like this. See, this is wrong. Did you see the just observe the difference? This is wide shoulder. Now I roll the shoulder. You see that? So what I did, I rotated the shoulder inward and lifted the center neck. Like that. So don't widen the shoulder. This is wrong. Bring it closer to each other by rolling them down. When you roll the shoulder downward, so the neck, the spine will go further back. You may try to do that. Like, no, be careful. All these things you have to discover on your own. No, because every person's body is different. So if you try to force yourself too much, you may get a sprain. You don't push too much, okay? So because I've been doing so, I will be able to do it. So when you first start doing that, you have to be careful. You cannot push too much. So let it take its own time. Don't worry about it. Let it go deeper, deeper, deeper. It will take some time so that you reach there finally.
So
Yeah, okay.
I have a doubt.
Yeah.
So like whenever I do Sarvangasana, go back to do Halasana, then come back to Sarvangasana. From there, if I move, my whole body starts cramping up. So then it takes quite some time to just come back to normal. So like my body starts cramping and it pains a lot. So I don't know why that happens.
Yeah, who's this? I could not get
Ishita.
Ishita. Yeah, okay. So after coming back from Sarvangasana, right?
Yeah, if I do anything, my body cramps.
Where does it cramp? Where does it cramp?
On the back. So it's like my body just like the back just curves and I like my head is down and my back is up. Like it cramps up. and it pains a lot. So it takes some time to come back, like to adjust a bit.
Maybe if you're doing this after Surya Namaskar only in the class only, right?
Yeah, in the class only. Well, we do halasana, we come back to Sarvangasana.
What you can do is when you do that halasana, you don't try to push too much, because maybe the reason is you are actually pushing your back too much, and that's maybe the reason the cramp is coming. Stop where the knee starts bending or something like that. No, try to go a little light next time. Instead of trying to push too much, just stop there where you feel okay, this is fine, and then check whether the same cramp is coming again. If you find that cramp is not coming, that means you are pushing too much. No, simple engineering, right? So
Yeah.
like that, try to do so that may be the reason. Maybe you're pushing a little too far. Maybe one of the reasons why this is happening.
Okay. Thank you,
Go a
sir.
little mild. Thank you. Thank you, Shita. Good. So I go to the next one, the Setubandha, Chakra, and I'll not stop before I finish Bhujanga, Ardha Bhujanga, Ardha Pranamukta, Anantasana, Vasishtasana. All the 5 I'll finish in 5 minutes, and then we'll talk about any doubts. Otherwise, I'll not be able to cover up the pranayama. Okay, so I start from Setubandha, right? Samastiti. Inhaling, I take the arms over the head. Exhaling, legs are pointed. Inhaling, bend the legs. Exhaling, catch the ankle. Inhaling, the hips are lifted. I hope you can hear me. 3 breaths here. You also roll the shoulder. Observe the stomach. After 3 breaths, exhale and press the palm by the ears. Then inhale, rise up, chakra. 3 breaths here. One. Two. Three. In advanced class, the variations will be there. So taking one leg up with an inhalation, that will come. The other leg up. I'm not breathing properly here. It will come. Then one hand to stomach will come in advanced class. Other hand to stomach will come. Then you have to come down. In advanced class, you are supposed to stand up also. In advanced class. Well, this is not there. So for you, I mean, the regular class, only that much was there. Leg, hand, up, all these things are not there. In advanced class, you'll be dropping back also. That is Trini of Chakrasana. Chatwari, inhale. Sorry. And exhale. Hands down in exhalation. That comes Setu Chakra. Then Ardha Pranamuktasana. Inhaling, fold the left leg. Exhaling, chin up. Three breaths here. Then inhale, head goes down. Exhale, leg down. Same on the other side. After finishing that, inhale, arm over the head. Then the left leg. Exhale, turn. Inhale, stretch the arms in front.
So there was Anantasana before this.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, I forgot that. So from there, I have to go to Anantasana. So I'm showing the right side here. Ideally, you'll be doing the left. So from here, I inhale and turn to one side. Then exhale, support the head with the hand. Then inhale, take the upper leg and the upper hand. 3 breaths here. Looking at the side wall. After the last inhale, hand down, leg down. We'll do the other side also. Then after reaching back, take an inhale here. Exhale, lie down. On the stomach in Makarasana. Then Ardha Bhujangasana. Samasthiti will be hands in front, legs at the back. Now inhale here. Exhale, palm by the chest. Here elbow and palm initially. Then inhale Ardha Bhujanga. Like that, without lifting the elbow. After 3 breaths, exhale, come down. Then place the palm at the position of the elbow with an inhalation. Then exhale here. Then full Bhujangasana. Open up backward. Head arch your back. After 3 breaths, exhale down. Inhale to Makarasana. Then pressing the palm by the chest, inhale, come up. Exhale, Balasana. Sorry, from here, there is another asana which is there, Vasishthasana. So pressing the palm by the chest, inhalation, exhale, keep your feet together. Then inhale, come up like a plank. Exhale here. Now inhale, turn to one side and lift the hand up. Vasishthasana, side plank. Finish the last inhale. Exhale, turn. After finishing the other side, inhale, knee down. Exhale, Balasana. After 5 numbers here, inhale, sit up. Exhale, interlock finger. Inhale, raise the arms. Then after 3 breaths, exhale and come down. These are all common because I'm not spending much time on that. I was demonstrating only the different asanas this month. So which are the asanas that I did? I did Setubandha Chakra, Ardha Pavana Muktasana, Anantasana, Ardha Bhujanga, Purna Bhujanga, and Vasishthasana. These are the 5 asanas in the prone sequence this month. Any queries on these?
Sir, Vasishthasana,
yeah.
Both are they in straight line? I mean, one on the floor and the one on the top. Should these be on a straight line? I mean, like
both the hands, right? Arms. Yeah, arms will be on one line, but there will be offset between the legs. So you're in plank. When you turn, so there will be an offset between the legs, but the arms will come in same line. Both the shoulders will be in one line, but the legs will be one in front of the other, like that. Shoulders will be one line. And the advanced asana, thank you. Advanced asana of the month is Vasishthasana level 2, where the leg also should be taken up. So I'm showing this side. I'll show you this side. So from the plank, this is there in the advanced class. From the plank position, exhale here. Inhale, turn to one side. Exhale, fold this top leg. And inhale, stretch it up. So this is the advanced asana for the month. Towards the end, you should be doing this. Then exhale down. So this asana is towards the end, which is the advanced asana of this month, Vasishthasana level 2. Because since you are already doing Vasishtha 1, you can try doing that. It's a little difficult one, using the hand and leg going up. So definitely if you're good at it, you can try that. That completes all the asanas
I'm going to pranayamas this month. The first pranayama is Kapalabhati pranayama, which is the stomach breathing. So after the mantra, I keep the hands in Dhyana Mudra, take an inhale here, and stomach breathing. So each exhalation, the stomach has to go in. In between each exhalations, there is one inhalation. So you must do about whatever speed you can do it. Maybe around 10 to 100 to 120 rounds we do. I think 11 rounds, so 100 to 150 rounds. Please mute your mics. Please mute your mics. Yeah, so that is Kapalabhati, the first pranayama. Second pranayama is the Anuloma pranayama. In Anuloma pranayama, all the inhalations are with sorry, one second. In Anuloma pranayama, all the inhalations are with throat regulation, Ujjayi, and the exhalations are with the finger regulation. So, so inhalation with always the chin is down here. Now inhale with the throat. Hold your breath. Bring the hands on the nose and exhale from the nostril first. Starting from the right nostril. Then hold your breath, put your hands down. Then inhale again from the throat. Hold. Exhale from the left. Then hold. So this cycle is repeated 8 times. So inhalation through the throat control without fingers, exhalation with Nasika Mudra. That is Anuloma Pranayama. It is the opposite of Pratiloma Pranayama, which we did 2 months back. So this month we are doing Anuloma Pranayama. It's a mix of throat regulation and finger regulation. That is Anuloma Pranayama. And then after that we do A-U-Ma. Akara, Ukara, Makara, and Omkara. So we do 2 times. Two times of this, then 2 times of U. Ooh. So what you're doing is called Nada Anusandhana Pranayama. Then 2 times Ma. And the last one will be mix of all the 3, like that is Nada Anusandhana Pranayama. And then we lie down in Shavasana. So these are the sequences of next month. And in addition to that, there was somebody, is there, Rupali is there? Somebody was asking about Shirshasana. Anybody who were asking about Shirshasana? Well, that is also an advanced asana of the next month.
Sir, before you go for Shirshasana, one
Yeah.
quick check. the last asana which we were mentioning was the Bhujangasana 2, full Bhujangasana. You generally mention open up your shoulders, spread your shoulder kind of. So can you just demonstrate?
Yeah. So here, when you rise up the chest, so it's a common tendency to keep the shoulders in front like this. Generally, I have seen. So I'm not saying you're doing that. So it's just general trend because the weight is and the body is not arching. So here, instead of keeping the shoulders front, push it back. Instead of keeping it front, open it backward.
You can see the shoulder became wider.
This way. Instead of this. Got it? To keep the chest wider. So what will happen? The actions will come like this. It will open up the center spine. It will push the spine inward and backward. So it will like three-dimensional action. Otherwise, this bend will happen, but this opening will not happen. So if you see, arching is there, and it opens up sideways also. So you get a good, better expansion of the chest. Why? Because see, all these asanas will actually help us to breathe better. So as I have always kept saying, no, the person who does not do proper asanas, he will not be able to do proper pranayama. And similarly, a person who does not do pranayama properly, the person will not be able to do proper asanas. So the idea behind this opening up the shoulders and is to expand the ribs so that we breathe better while pranayama and doing all the asanas. I hope I was able to explain that shoulder expansion.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So I finished there, and Shirshasana, as I've always told you, Shirshasana is not an asana to take the leg up. It is to take the hip up. So get that in your mind. So when you do a headstand, so the idea is not to take the leg up. So idea is to bring the hip above the, you can see I'm trying to bring the hip above my head. So don't try to shoot the leg up like this. So try to bring hip over the head. That's it. See, Shirshasana is over. Did you see that? So I brought my hip above the head, directly above the ground. And then matter of length is secondary. And then leg will come automatically because hip is above the head. So don't think that Shirshasana is an asana to take the leg up. It is to bring the hip up. Similarly, when you come down, if the hip remains above the head, the Shirshasana is not over. See, I am still in Shirshasana. Still in Shirshasana. See, I am balancing on the head, no? Leg is down, but the hip is above the head. You got that? So try to bring the hip over the head, not the leg over the head. And always after Shirshasana, so get that in your mind that trying to bring the hip above the crown. So that takes, yeah.
So in my case, because I have a little bit of spine curve over there and hip is jutting out. So the hip goes very much behind, over and above the head. So that's another kind of a problem. So that's why, and second, because I'm inverted, I don't have awareness of body that where my hip is. So how will I bring control? And that's why, beyond 1 or 2 seconds, I can't hold. See, I think what is the chance for improvement in your case is the connection, I think. See, you have to connect the lower body with the upper body through the shoulders, stomach, and arms. If the upper half is strong, if you can connect your strength of the shoulders through the stomach and the lateral side till the hips, then Shirshasana is easy. So I think that is what you can work on, because I'm not very sure whether it is because of the lordosis or what I talk about. Is that the reason for your imbalance? I'm not very sure. I think the reason for the imbalance is more due to the connection. If you're able to connect your shoulders, neck, arms through the stomach and the lateral side to the hips, till that point, if you are able to connect,
then the remaining will become a little more easy to do. I think that may be one of the reasons, because when to the extent I saw you doing once, that's why I'm saying. Okay, I can observe, and in the next time when you do it, I can correct you better, I think. Okay, so that completes that, and then we do the closing prayer. Any other queries? Otherwise, I'm going to wind up now. So we do the closing prayer. This month it is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. So with the back straight, inhale, take the arms over the head. Exhale, bring to heart center. Closing the eyes, inhale again. Together. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. All of us. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently go down. Thank God for your practice. And come back. As I've always been saying, chant all the mantras. See, when I chanted the mantra, I was thinking about the meaning of all that. So automatically my mind became calm. No, I came out of all those stretches, everything. All the Om and all these chants that we do, chant it from the heart. See, I'm talking to you with my eyes closed. I'm involving myself when I'm chanting mantra. So like that, please involve. Mantras are very good. What is the meaning of mantra? I have told you. Mantra is a vehicle to the mind. Vehicle to the mind. It's like a anything that it's a tool. So it's a tool. You have to use a tool. No. So this vehicle to the mind is mantra. Meaning of mantra. All the mantras are very good. Chant Omkara. Chant all the mantras with proper thinking from in the mind. Sing from the heart. I've seen some students, they do from the heart, and they really like the mantra. So I want to learn from them, because how they enjoy, like Madhu and all. I've seen him so nicely, he will sing. So I want to learn like him. So that much mind involvement is not there for me. So still I'm trying. So chant mantras very nicely from the heart, all the Om, everything. Okay, that will help us, including me, to calm the mind and become very, very strong at the mind. Okay, thank you for coming, all of you. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. So I'm going to the class now. 5:45 class is there. Just a second. I need to change the camera. Just a second. I hope you can hear me. I'm opening the slides. All of you sit in Sukhasana. Keep your hands in Dhyana Mudra. Close your eyes a little time. Starting prayer coming up. Inhaling, take both the arms over your head, sideways take it up. Exhaling, bring them to center of the heart. Close your eyes, inhale again. Together. Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde Sandarshita Swatma Sukhavabodhe Nisreyase Jangalikayamane Sansara Hala Hala Moha Shantyaye Abahu Purushakaram